Fleischmann Tikkun Elevator Kollel. The book, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Jew? No Jews allowed, quote, Redux. Anti-Semitism is embraced by madmen, but it also seems to make great men mad. After urging that synagogues be burned and rabbis be banned from teaching, the 16th century theologian and founder of the Christian Reformation, Martin Luther, agonized, what will happen even if we do burn down the Jews' synagogues and forbid them publicly to praise God, to pray, to teach, to utter God's name? They will still keep doing it in secret. Luther, whose anti-Semitism would later inspire the Nazis, was obsessed with the idea that even if the synagogues were destroyed, the Jews would go on praying. This same obsession drove the Spanish Inquisition to cruelly target conversos, the Jews who had converted to Christianity by force. They were forced to convert, rather than be killed at the stake. The church loved burning Jews. For 700 years, they went after conversos. Look at that. 700 years, from 1492. Convinced they were worshiping their God in secret. Hitler mirrored this fear a few hundred years later when he demanded that Germany and Europe must become Judenrein, free of Jews. Today, the populations under both Hamas and the Palestinian Authority were rated in the 2023 annual ADL survey as the most Jew-hating on the planet, with an astonishing anti-Semitic rate of 93%. It's no surprise that they continue to insist that their territories be 100% Jew-less, just as the Nazis demanded that last century. Even in the supposedly progressive world of 2024, the Palestinians uphold two horrifying laws. One that rewards Palestinians with escalating financial rewards and a life pension for killing Jews, and another that mandates the death penalty for anyone selling land to a Jew. Almost every European country has at one point in history kicked the Jews out, including England, Spain, Portugal, France, Hungary, and Lithuania. But even after Jews are expelled or killed, the obsession remains. The Jews never seem to be far enough away, for those that hate us. Today, even in a nation where there are almost no Jews, anti-Semitism thrives. Now look at Poland. Despite most Jews being dead or gone after 90% of Poland's 3.3 million Jewish population were murdered, were exterminated, believe it or not, the hatred remains. Today, a country doesn't need a Jewish population for anti-Semitism to thrive. We see this holds true especially in the Arab Muslim world. Despite the fact that most of the region's Jewish population of 1 million souls fled from fear or were driven out of the nations like Egypt, Morocco, Yemen, and Iraq. This happened almost 100 years ago now. Anti-Semitism is rampant throughout the region. So he writes like this: not so surprising for Judaism. For many well-informed Jews, this remarkable persistence of Jewish hate is hardly surprising. Jewish tradition is intimately familiar with the double standard and the catch-22 game of anti-Semitism. Now, a story in the Medrash, this is close to 2,000 years ago, a compendium of Jewish thought encapsulated in stories or parables. It's different kinds of metaphors, but not just that. It also tells stories. Tells of the 2nd century Roman Emperor Hadrian encountering two Jews. The first Jew greeted Hadrian, Who are you? Demanded the emperor, who had brutally destroyed Israel and replaced its name with that of Palestine. That's where the name Palestine comes from. So, I am a Jew, came the reply. How dare a Jew pass before Hadrian and greet him? Cut off his head, the emperor ordered. Now the second Jew did not greet Hadrian. How dare a Jew pass before Hadrian and not greet him? Cut off his head, he commanded. Now I think I got to switch over here when I look at that map. When he had killed both the Jew who had greeted him and the Jew who had not, the emperor reported, I do not need your advice about killing the people I hate. That's the Medrash. Let's take a look at this map. Now we're learning in detail in a different place. I think we've got to bring this back or to be able to see it better. Now all the places in black, this is a map of Europe. Here's Spain, France, England, Germany. It's a little hard to see it the way they folded a bit. Then we have, what is this? This is Silesia, going as close to German, Austria, Hungary, all these different places, Crimea, Sicily, and of course Spain, Portugal. Expulsions of the Jews in the 500-year period from 1000 to 1500. So he has dates, and I can't track them exactly, but let's see what happens here. In the year 1492, Spain is always a lovely place to start. In the year 1492, there was an expulsion of Jews from Spain. They went to Portugal. But in the year 1497, the Jews were all forcibly baptized, all of them. And as a result of that, many who could escaped. So here we have a trail of the Jews going towards Holland, because at that time Amsterdam was a free city. You could be Jewish there. Now, this is important to me because my family comes from Lithuania. So the question is that how so many scholars get from Lithuania? To Lithuania, it seems, I'm thinking, and I've been told, that this was a route to Hamburg, and then from Hamburg into the Baltic, and the Baltic and Lithuania. Why Lithuania? Because Lithuania was very far away from Spain. You have to realize that Inquisition followed the Jews all the way through. But Holland, Amsterdam in particular, was not secular, but Protestant, and so was Hamburg. And Lithuania was very late in picking up Catholicism. So there was a place for people to escape there. So here we have in France, now going backwards in time, the year 1306, Jews fled to Spain. Paris, 1182. Provence, all of these dates. Now let me see if I have that so it can be seen. They're easy enough to see. So he says France, and then we said that Germany, all of these expulsions from Germany and all over and over and over again. Eventually from Crimea into Kiev, Chernobyl, and Lithuania. But just to give you an idea of all the different places from which we were expelled. So he writes like this in the legend down below. He says, Jewish communities with the date of expulsion, direction of the flight. So the cool thing getting out of Spain and going to Portugal, be forcibly converted. It's not so easy to get out of there. Direction of the flight and dispersal of expelled Jews, mostly to Poland, Italy, and the Ottoman Empire. Principal places of resettlement. These are some of the spots. Fez, this is North Africa. Genoa, Turin, places in Italy were separate states. Livorno allowed Jews. Venezia, Venice, and etc. Hungary. Tarnopol, Lemberg, Lutsk, this is all Poland. All Poland here. These are all places to which we escaped. And then, of course, to the Muslim world. I think that's where we'll stop right here. This is Baruch Fleischman giving an idea of what our history is really like. Thinking about that title, Why Be Jewish? Underneath all of this, there is a tremendous reason to be Jewish. We're going to try to find it. This is Baruch Fleischman.